Welcome to Great Neighborhood Cooks. I'm your host, Rob Kircher. Each week I'm going to be knocking on the doors of amazing cooks who live down the street or around the corner. Who knows, maybe from your own neighborhood. For the most part, they're unsung cooks known mainly to their family and friends. Or they might be cooks from that great little hideaway restaurant that we love to discover. Either way, their relative obscurity is about to change as I bring them into the spotlight. So who will be the next discovered great neighborhood cook? Well, stay tuned to find out. So who will be the next discovered great neighborhood cook? Well, Ruth and I are here in Port Royal, right?
Yes.
And Port Royal is part of Naples, Florida, by the way, folks, and it's a very nice neighborhood. But we're here to see a very nice woman, right?
We are indeed.
An amazing woman.
Yes.
And Thelma is her name, and well, I don't even know where to start with Thelma. She is a producer of, 3 Broadway productions,
Yes,
right?
she wears a lot of hats.
She wears a lot of hats. She is an author of a cookbook, I think more than one, actually.
Yes.
She is a champion ballroom dancer.
Yes, international ballroom
dancer, and many other things. But we're here to taste her amazing cooking. And I'm going to tell you, so folks, you want to stay with us because it's going to be outstanding. So let's go knock on her door.
All
Come
right.
on, let's go meet Thelma. There's Thelma. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
We're well. Thanks
Thank
for letting
you for
us
inviting
in.
us into your marvelous home.
Oh, you're so very welcome.
Oh, I can't wait.
This looks great. Look at that view, Rob.
Well, the view is the reason we bought the house.
I can understand
Yes.
that. And you have a fabulous kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah,
Amazing.
we moved it from over there when we
Yeah.
first bought the
You
house.
moved it?
Yes, the house,
Oh.
the kitchen was over there.
wow.
And even though we enlarged it, the first remodel, everybody would always be in that part of the house at the kitchen when I was cooking or having a dinner party. So it made no sense. Here we have this beautiful view and everybody's in there. So we just, ta-da,
Wow.
we made the kitchen the focus of
Oh
the
my
house.
goodness, look at this kitchen. It
It
is
is
amazing.
beautiful.
So we decided
Wow.
to move the kitchen to be the focal point of the living room.
And everybody loves to congregate in the kitchen, of course.
No
right?
matter what
So,
you do.
I think you could probably put about 50 people in this kitchen right now. It would be fine.
Possibly.
Before we go any further, I want to brag on Thelma a little bit. She is the author of 2 amazing cookbooks. This is a matter of taste. And you've had this for a number of years now, right?
Yeah, that was back in the 80s I did that. It was a fundraising cookbook for the Junior League of Morristown.
She's an amazing cook, so you want to get this because I know there's an amazing recipes there.
Yeah, they're all triple tested the way a Junior League does, and about 30% of them are mine.
And then this one is
This
So
one,
good luck.
I can't claim any of the recipes, but all of the language is mine. This was my mentor, Anne-Marie Husta, who was Jackie Onassis' chef and Billy Rose's
wow.
chef.
Wow.
And I was her food editor for years.
I want to get into this first dish that you're going to be doing because I know it's going to be amazing. So can you describe it for us?
Well, it's salmon livornese, and to give you a background, my husband is a retired internist oncologist, and he has spent the last at least 6 years studying nutrition. And he has come to the conclusion that the rise of cancer in our society, the rise of autoimmune diseases and diabetes and so on is directly linked to our diet. So we follow the principles, which you heard a little bit about.
Yeah.
So we want to raise our omega-3s.
Yeah.
And that means a lot more salmon.
Right.
Because that's the #1 source of omega-3s. And we want to lower the 6s. So for that reason, we use olive oil, which is neutral. We don't use corn oil or soy oil. Those are high in 6s. So basically the only thing I use around the house. Well, ironically, the recipe that I'm about to make does rely on canned tomatoes.
Oh my God.
Yes, no, really. Well, they're okay. And like these Lindsay Natural olives, you can't really buy fresh olives. You have to buy canned
right,
olives.
right.
But there's nothing in it except water and sea salt. That's it.
That's it.
In the olives.
So no preservatives, none
No,
of that? Okay.
no.
Yeah.
And everything else, the zucchini, the tomatoes, everything else is organic. The onions, the garlic. So
Yeah.
all of that is organic. I have yet to find a canned organic tomato that tastes any good.
tomato.
Yeah, they're mushy.
Canned organic tomato. I think that,
Yeah,
would be
they're
that
mushy.
would be a tough one, yeah.
So I use Hunt's. I really like the petite diced.
Let's go to the stove.
Let's
I'm
go.
going to start
Okay.
Take a look.
seeing what you're doing.
Okay, so I saute the garlic in the oil first, and then I take the garlic out. The reason I do that is because when my husband was in training as an intern, when he was in medical school, and later, he had a mentor who, if you had garlic on your breath, he would kick you out of hospital rounds. So he couldn't ever ingest a whole piece of garlic.
Direct relationship to bedside manner.
Absolutely
That's
right.
right.
Absolutely right. So anyway, I saute the onions until they're translucent, and then the easiest part of all is I add the canned tomatoes. So I add the tomatoes.
How many cans of those do you put in?
Right now, 4.
4 cans,
I
okay.
might put in another one. We'll see. It depends on how many onions I have in the first place.
She used to teach cooking classes
I did.
in her home in
I
New
did.
York.
But I will tell
Another
you.
hat.
Another? Oh my God.
I'll tell you
Goes down
something
to that.
interesting. I grew up in New York City and I was raised by my grandparents. My mother was in the nightclub business. She never cooked. My grandmother never cooked. She kept the phone books in the oven because she never turned the oven on. New York City phone books this big. We ate in Schraff's almost every night. Except on Fridays, because we were Catholic, we used to eat at Jordan's Pub because they had a lot of fish.
Good fish.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And so I used to love their sardine and egg sandwiches, which sounds awful, but
What a
I
rich
love
childhood.
them.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So when I met my husband, he was living with 2 other medical students, and they would eat breakfast and lunch in the medical school cafeteria, and then they would go to Kroger's once a week, the grocery store, and they would buy 21 TV dinners for dinner.
God.
They ate a
TV
TV dinner every night.
You're kidding.
So,
I'm sure they kind of mixed the variety up a little bit, though, right?
oh yeah, 21 different
Remember the
kinds.
little slot that had the pudding in it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes.
I always went for that
yes.
first.
Yeah.
So I met my husband. I started feeling really sorry for these medical students, and I decided I had to cook for them, but I didn't know how. So I went to the used bookstore at St. Louis U, and I found the red and white check Better Homes and Gardens.
Oh,
book.
I know
I
that
had that
cookbook.
too.
Oh, we
I
all
know
had
Still
it.
Yeah.
We all had
I
that.
know
We
that
all had the
cookbook,
joy
yeah,
of
yeah.
cooking, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I found that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the reason I
Great.
bought it
The
is
classic.
because it had a recipe for baked Alaska. And my husband
I
mentioned
remember
that
that.
his sister
Yeah.
used to make baked Alaska. And I pretended I knew how to do that. So anyway, so he would pick me up after work on Saturday. And he would be coming from Gross Anatomy Lab, which meant he smelled like formaldehyde.
Oh, my
It was
goodness
awful.
gracious, okay.
But
Did
I
you
would.
send them directly into the shower?
Yes,
or- okay.
yes, and I would just spend a couple of hours in the kitchen and, make several meals. Eventually, my husband started bringing medical students home with him, and I would
Just
feed
dropping
them.
in,
Yeah,
right?
just dropping in, and I would feed them, and I got quite a reputation with the other wives. They were not happy with me.
I'm sure you weren't.
They were
I
not.
can only imagine
I
it.
remember one of them saying to me, "How long do you spend on cooking every night?" And I
Right.
said, in all innocence, I said, "Oh, about 2 hours." And she said, "Well, I'm lucky if I throw together a tuna noodle casserole in 15 minutes. And I said to my husband, "I promise I will never make a tuna noodle casserole."
And I bet you haven't.
I haven't, but my oldest son Joseph came home from college and he said, "I want to make something for you guys. It's really delicious." And he made the tuna noodle casserole. And
So
it
Bud
was,
had to eat it after all.
well, we inhaled
my
it.
God.
It was so good.
Oh, my
You know,
goodness.
Garrison Keillor wrote a song about tuna noodle casserole. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring this up to a simmer, and while that's happening, first I'm going to add some fresh oregano. If you can't get fresh oregano, of course you can use dried, but here is my tip. If you're going to use the dried oregano, before you put it in, crush it in your
Oh,
hands.
yeah.
And that releases more of the volatile
Yeah.
oils. But
That's a great tip right there.
Yeah,
It
and
That's a great
you
tip.
can do the same with the basil. I will possibly add basil. And okay, I wanted to show you the salmon, which comes from vitalchoice.com. This is our favorite source for wild salmon, and if you're following the precepts that Bud outlined here yesterday, you need wild salmon in your
Now,
diet.
Thelma, while we're on this subject, why would one not want to buy a farmed salmon?
Because farmed salmon are fed things that salmon would never eat. They're kept in a pond, very small space, they're swimming in their own dirt, and they're fed things with artificial coloring in it.
Yeah, they add food coloring.
Yeah.
They add
Just so
coloring
they-
to it.
Yes, to make them pink.
So, folks,
So this comes frozen.
It does come
correctly?
frozen,
Yep.
flash
And-
frozen.
You put it on this little black tray here.
Comes from NASA technology. I'm not exactly sure what it's made of, some kind of aluminum, but aluminum isn't usually coated in black, and I've had this for years. If I have forgotten to thaw the salmon, when I come home, if I take it directly out of the freezer and put it on the counter, it takes about an hour and a half to thaw. If I put it on this, it takes an hour. Just makes it easier.
This is great looking fish.
Thelma, this amazing salmon is served in both of your restaurants, right?
Not that particular one. The salmon comes from Fundy Bay, which is in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Nova Scotia, yeah.
And the reason for that is because customers will ask about any fish on the menu, is it frozen? And although that is just as good as the fresh salmon, if you tell a customer yes, then they're turned off.
They're turned off,
So
right.
we have to say, no, it's never been frozen. And the salmon we get from Fundy Bay has never been frozen.
Wow.
And it is wild.
And you have two amazing restaurants, you and your
The
husband.
Bay House is
Oh.
wonderful, and now she's just opened another place down here at the Hotel Bellicera.
Yes.
And it's very
Yeah.
similar to the food that you serve at the Bay House.
Yes, the menu is similar, but it doesn't look anything like the Bay House.
No, it doesn't, but
Yeah.
it's gorgeous inside. I love what you've done.
Thank
That's
you.
called Tyrannies.
No, it's called the Claw Bar.
The Claw Bar.
Yes, it's called the Claw
And
Bar.
did I hear rumblings about something else that you and your husband are going to be doing?
Yes.
There's a nightclub, I think, coming up.
Not a
isn't it?
nightclub, a private supper club.
Supper club?
Yes, we bought
We're not batting very well here.
Thank God for editing, right?
Yeah.
We bought 2/3 of an acre from the Hotel Bellicera people, and our plan is to build a private supper club, which we will call the London Club,
Wow.
and members will be able to take advantage of great perks like we're going to have 2 London taxi cabs. So
That is
you
so
don't
cool.
have to
That
call
is so
Uber.
cool. I love that. So Thelma, let's take a break because I know we have some other things to prepare for this amazing dish that you have. So folks, we'll be right back.
Moran Edwards Asset Management Group of Wells Fargo Advisors has 25 professionals dedicated to attentive, personalized service. Our team's credentials cover a wide range of advisory disciplines, and we've been helping families and institutions invest to achieve their financial goals for over 30 years. Call 239-254-2200 or visit moranedwards.com for a complimentary consultation. Moran Edwards, passionate, personable, performance-driven.
Thinking of updating your kitchen? Don't just replace, create. Let the experienced craftsmen at Kitchens by Ambiance create a space that will truly impress. Create a kitchen with ambiance. Kitchens by Ambiance. Visit our showroom in Bonita Springs across from the promenade on Tamiami Trail or find us online at kitchensbyambiance.com.
At the Roma's Gourmet Market and Restaurant, they do things differently. They do it the authentic way. For example, why is their incredible bread and pastries the best you've ever tasted? Well, it's because they're made artfully and lovingly every day, using only the freshest ingredients possible. The same care and thoughtfulness goes into their freshly brewed, custom blended coffee. The Roma's Gourmet Market and Restaurant at the Promenade in Bonita Springs is the closest place to Little Italy in Southwest Florida. On September 10, 2017, Hurricane Irma unleashed her fury and powerful winds on Southwest Florida, leaving many homeowners in a state of dismay. I was one of them. Days turned into weeks, and that turned into months. Among the maze of promising roof contractors and so-called experts, one company stood out, ACC Mastercraft. And I want you to do me a favor. Folks, contact them. They're on Trade Center Way. They are unbelievable. They do 2 things that I was blown away by. 1, they believe in service, and 2, they believe in helping you. Can you imagine that? It's true. Contact them. It's the best thing you can possibly do for yourself, And when you do, I want you to call me and let me know how you make out, because they're unbelievable. Seriously. Folks, we're back from our break, and Thelma's going to be doing
The salmon. Now
Okay.
I'm adding the salmon to the Livornese sauce.
okay.
And before I put it in, I'm going to add just a little wine. If you didn't want to add wine, you could add water, just to have a little bit more liquid.
I think wine
the-
is always a good idea.
I'm
with you.
What do you think
A
about
little
that?
more liquid for
Yeah.
the poaching. So this is only going to take about 10 minutes because I hate overdone salmon.
Oh, I'm with you on that for sure.
So we just slip the salmon fillets in, and then I will
So
cover
they're
them.
skinless, right? That's a skinless.
These are, yes,
Yeah.
these are skinless.
Okay.
When I make pan-seared salmon, for myself,
Yeah.
I make it with the skin on because I love the crispy
Oh,
skin.
the crispy
Yeah,
skin
oh,
is
yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, and not for Bud though. He doesn't like the skin under any circumstances. So I'm just going to cover the
Wow, that
salmon
looks so good
fillets.
already, Thelma. It's amazing.
Smells good too, doesn't
It
it?
does smell
Oh.
good.
Well, there's nothing that
Fresh
smells better
oregano.
than onions and oregano.
Oh, no,
I mean,
I know. What a pairing, huh? It's
Yeah.
just incredible.
And you can smell that even though they're canned tomatoes, they smell pretty fresh.
really
and I
do.
will
They-
be
they-
adding the
they
fresh
smell
tomatoes. So we'll cover
They
this
Cover that, huh? Yeah.
and
How long
let
does that cook?
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
10
so
minutes.
that's very
Yeah.
quick.
While the salmon is simmering, I'm making zucchini noodles with my spiralizer. Zucchini is one of my favorites because it makes a great noodle, great shape. And this is organic zucchini that I found at Food and Thought, and it's nice and shiny. Skin is still tight on it. So I used to have a manual spiralizer, which worked very well. You can buy them at Williams-Sonoma, but this is a lot faster. You do need muscles.
That's a great way to get kids to kind of wean themselves off pasta, right?
Oh, yeah.
Into veggies, right?
Right.
And you get your little workout. for the
Yeah,
day.
it's a great workout. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Watch it, those are very sharp blades.
Look at that. Oh, boy, that looks
Great.
fantastic.
Yeah. So we have all of these wonderful.
yeah.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Love it. Looks like pasta, right?
Yeah, it does.
Could be
Isn't that
pasta.
great?
It is.
Yeah. So what's the next thing, Thelma? We're gonna be
Okay,
doing?
so it only takes a flash to saute these zucchini noodles. So again, I'm going to do it in olive oil. All right, now that we have simmered this for 10 minutes, I'm adding the fresh tomatoes, which are beautiful ripe tomatoes.
Oh, look at that.
I
Wow.
actually had the chef in our restaurant give them to me. And
So
then you
the
add the olives, both green and ripe. Thank you, Ruth.
Ooh.
So also now I'll add the capers, and I love the taste of capers.
So you put the whole
I'm
jar?
I did. I go
Oh,
heavy on it.
oh.
I love that salty,
Woman after my
tangy-
own.
Yeah.
Oh, I
yes.
love that.
And now I have an optional ingredient which I add, and that is baby artichokes.
Oh,
and
baby- oh, yeah.
yes, and when you are in the grocery store, I recommend if baby artichokes are available, you get them, or you get a higher priced brand of regular artichokes, because the cheap brands of artichokes they're not worth it. Their outer leaves are a little tough, but the baby artichokes.
Look how cute they look.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And that'll simmer for about 2 minutes. We just want to warm those other ingredients
I
up.
think the artichokes is a brilliant touch in it.
Yeah, I do too.
I really do.
I like it.
So now I'm just adding the zucchini noodles, which I'm just going to stir fry for a couple of minutes. Well, I have always loved fine dining. I mentioned my mother was in the nightclub business, and when I was home from college freshman year with my boyfriend, and my mother thought that it would be really cool if we went to Joe King's Rathskeller in New York, where college kids would go and they'd sit at these long tables and sing college songs. It was a German-American place. And so we went. She went there. She used to go to Joe King's when she was at NYU. We went there, I was so completely bored. I turned to my mother and I said, could we please go to El Morocco? And so we went to El Morocco.
Where you had a great time.
Yes, and I didn't have to eat, sauerkraut and Braunschweiger or whatever it was. Not that those are anything bad, but... Okay. Now, I don't add salt to a lot because my husband doesn't like it, but you could certainly season this at will.
Sure.
Or you can let your guests season it for
Well,
themselves.
I would put a lot of pepper in there if that would be, but
You may do that when you
Yeah,
sit down
yeah,
to eat it. I
yeah.
have certainly had that. And I have all kinds of wonderful salts too, which I like. And my secret weapon, Jane's Crazy Mixed Up Salt. Been using it since I was in my 20s. I love it on everything. I think we're ready to plate.
so while that takes place, let's have our break and we'll be right back.
Batter up! Experience the science and math behind baseball at our newest exhibit, Big League Fun. Come test the speed of your fastball, steal second base, gear up in your catcher's equipment, then announce the big game. All at the Golisano Children's Museum of Naples. While you're here, explore the Everglades, engineer your own building, and go fishing at the beach. Visit the Children's Museum of Naples today, located in the North Collier Regional Park.
Folks, I'm here with Francis J. Cuomo. He's the owner of Roma's Gourmet Market. And Francis, every time I come in here, it's just bustling with activity. I love it.
Thank God. That's why we're here. We're here to feed people.
How many people do you get on a daily basis?
Well, it depends. Certain times of the year, like now, we average around 3,000 people a day on a Saturday and Friday. Sundays we close a little early at 6, and we average around 1,500 to 1,800 people a day on a Saturday. So it just keeps growing.
And people
the
love-
restaurant yesterday, about 1,100 people.
Really?
In the restaurant
Wonderful,
alone.
wonderful.
That's not including that.
Well,
So we're very
you've got
blessed.
that magic going for here.
Yeah.
You really do. It's the sight, the sound, the aroma, everything that
Yes.
you're so well known for.
I give God the credit. He gave me the energy and the foresight.
So, folks, if you really want to have a gourmet experience, you want to come to Roma's Gourmet Market in Bonita Springs and this little Italy right here in
Southwest Florida,
Southwest Florida.
our own creation.
I've been suffering from hearing loss as long as I can remember. It used to be I couldn't hear people in crowded rooms. Now I can't hear people in any situation anywhere. That's severe. Finally, I decided to do something about it, and I went to Beltone 5-Star Hearing.
I've been in this industry since 1972, and helping Rob was a wonderful thing. I wear the same hearing aids, and I'm excited about how much they help me. You get service, and there's 1,600 facilities in the country, and there's a Beltone nearest you. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call your local Beltone dealer for service. And that's what hearing aids are all about. They need service after you purchase them.
Just come see us. It's free just to have an evaluation.
These hearing aids that I just love them. I absolutely love them. At the Roma's Gourmet Market and Restaurant, they do things differently. They do it the authentic way. For example, why is their fresh homemade mozzarella the best you've ever tasted? Well, take a look at this. Well, it's because it's made slowly and lovingly, the way it's been produced for generations. It's the same with their incredible custom blended Roma wines. They go hand in hand. The art is in the pairing, like everything else thoughtfully prepared at the Roma's Gourmet Market and Restaurant. It's Little Italy at the Promenade in Bonita Springs. Back from the break, and it's time for plating, right?
Yes. So
Wow,
I've
look at that.
already put the zucchini noodles around the edges and
Wow.
dishing out the salmon fillets.
Oof.
It does smell good, doesn't it?
That looks amazing, and the aroma is incredible. But I love all the color, and I love all the wonderful ingredients you have in there. Look at that.
All those little baby
Yeah.
artichoke hearts.
Are we at capacity? Okay.
The Russian River Valley is in Oregon, right?
Sonoma.
Sonoma.
Yes.
Okay. Look at this.
So Las Alturas is the other variety of Bel Gloss.
How does one open these bottles?
Well, you pull the tab.
You pull the tab,
Yeah,
right?
and we'll see what happens after
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, you have to have a lot of them. muscle.
I know, that's why I'm not doing it.
Oh,
There
okay,
you go.
Well,
And now I'll get you a corkscrew.
oh, wow, look at that. Pretty cool, isn't it?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Go ahead and do both of them. You gonna try your hand at
I
this?
don't think I have enough strength. Oh,
Ooh,
what do you know?
yeah, look at that.
Did you get it?
Yeah, she's got it. She's popped it.
There it is. All right.
Wow, very, very cool. Which one should we open first?
Well, we'll probably open
Open
both
both
of them.
Open
and then
both,
we'll-
yeah. All right. I'm giving you the honors
Oh.
again because of my thumb.
Well, you turn?
Yes,
Okay.
just keep
I thought it was
turning,
battery
keep
operated.
turning.
Okay.
Or as the Italians say, gira, gira, gira. And keep turning.
When you get to that point,
Yeah, keep turning. Don't hold that tightly. Let go of
Okay.
that. Okay.
keep turning. Oh,
Right,
and it,
uh-huh.
okay, look at that.
Is the cork coming out?
I think it is. Seems like it.
I think I see it. There we
There
go.
we
go.
go.
Wonderful.
Wow, that's pretty
Now,
good.
how do you get rid of the cork out of there?
Go backwards with the
Oh. Wow.
Beautiful color.
And I have to sample this. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's absolutely no bite. It's so
That is-
mellow, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Just explodes
Yes,
in
it
your
fills
mouth.
your mouth.
It really does.
That is extraordinary.
Spectacular.
Really extraordinary. And I can see why you paired it with this meal. Wow.
And speaking of the meal,
I think
can
you're
you
right.
tell we're hungry?
Yes, I can tell.
We've been smelling these delicious smells.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't
Ruth, you
wait.
want to do the honors?
Yes, please do,
Oh,
Ruth.
sure.
Go ahead.
Yep.
I love this.
I know, it's so good.
It is incredible.
Fine.
When did you discover this? How long ago?
I was out with friends and the husband ordered this and I just said, oh boy, I've got to try to find this everywhere. And then I was actually competing in Dallas, I think it was.
Was it Dallas?
In Dallas, and I went to a restaurant there and they had a different Bell Gloss on the menu, not Dairyman. So I tried that. I still like the Dairyman
The Dairyman.
better. And this Las Alturas I have not tried yet. So.
All right,
Well,
I'm
let's
not
dive
waiting.
in
Okay,
here.
okay.
Now, we like to do this on 3, okay? So take
All right.
a little forkful and get ready.
I don't listen to him.
Okay? 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
This is so good.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, make sure you get a little bit of everything with the salmon.
Oh, this is so delightful.
And a little bit of wine.
It always makes it better.
We want to thank you so much, as Ruth just mentioned, for allowing us into your beautiful, wonderful home.
Oh, you're welcome.
And you are such a talented woman. I mean, you really are extraordinary. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Very nice meeting you too, Rob.
Oh, you get a kiss? Wow, I love that.
From the
So-
cutest redhead in town.
So folks, to learn more about this extraordinary woman, we'd like you to go to our website, which is www.greatneighborhoodcooks.com. And you're going to be able to download a lot of your recipes, this one in particular, as well as look at some behind-the-scenes shots and learn more about Thelma and her amazing career. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.